Guys, it's your boy Clinton. In this video I'm going to show you how to Ajaxify Django. So in this scenario I'm going to show you how to submit data to your database and also display that data on your web page without the page reloading. For example, I have a simple Django blog on my screen, so I'm going to go down to one of the blog posts. I have three of them here, so I'm going to pick the second blog post. I'm going to go down to it. So in this particular blog post, whenever I add data, whenever I drop a comment on a blog post, the page will load. Understand? But the one I have on the other tab, whenever I try to add comments to a particular blog post, the page does not reload. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So for instance, now I'm going to add a commenter's name. Let's say John, and simply put in the comments and say thank you for this info. So just watch, you're gonna see the page reload. So if I click submit, you can see the page reloaded before the comment was added. But look at my other tab now. Whenever I try to add a comment to a blog post, so I'm gonna do that now. So I want to add a comment to this blog post. I'm gonna say Mike. I'll simply say Mark, or let's say Joe. Say wow. Joe said wow. Thanks a lot. So if I click on submit, the page will not reload, but the comments will be added to submit. You can see there was no page reload, the comment was also added. You understand? So in this video, I'm going to show you how to Ajaxify your Django project to prevent unnecessary reloading. You understand? And if you were not part of this Django series where I built a blog, check the description of this video for the link to this tutorial where I built a blog with Django. So without further ado, we are getting into today's video. Okay, so now we are going to Ajaxify this Django blog to prevent reloading whenever we add comments to a particular blog post. You understand? So for the source code of this blog post, check the description of this video. For the tutorial on how to build a blog with Django, check the description of this video. And if you've not subscribed to Code with Clinton yet, please do subscribe, because I make videos on Django and JavaScript. So you really enjoy my channel, please do want to subscribe to Code with Clinton. So now I'm going to head straight to the views.py of this Django blog. Please permit me to go down to the views.py. I need to do some explanations there, so this will be fully understood. You understand? So now let's get down to my views.py. Okay, so here is the view. Here's my views.py of the Django blog. So now you can see in this particular function called blog detail, I declared a variable called post. This post refers to the particular blog. It refers to the individual blog posts. You can see I'm getting each of them by their slug. So now this comment now refers to the comments of a particular blog post. It refers to the comments of a particular blog post, not the whole comment in the database, but the comment for a specific blog post. So I declared a variable called new comment. So now I have a variable called form. You understand? This form is the comment form we have over here. The comment form is the comment form for this Django blog. The form here we have, you can see this comment form is here, and this comment form was from our forms.py, whereby I had to use the model form to save to my database. You can see this comment form is from the forms.py. This is basically a form. This is what we call a Django form. It enables us to add data to a particular model easily. You understand? So now this is my comment form. Understand? So now I had to do an if statement. If it is a post request, my comment form is going to have the data in it, and if the form is valid, this variable I declared here, new comment, is going to be equal to the form, this comment form, but it's not going to, it's just going to create the data but not save yet. So I'm going to assign this current post I have here, the current blog post, to the comments, to the new comments, understand? The current blog post we are on, I'm going to assign it to this new comment. So now I can now save to the database, understand? So now what I want to do is that I want to get the name of the commenter and the commenter's comments. You understand? I want to get the name of the commenter and the commenter's comment. That's what I'm going to display on my web page during the comments to prevent page reload. I want to get the name of the commenter and the commenter's comments. So I'm going to simply import from Django.http. I'm going to import JSON response. JSON response. So now I've imported my JSON response. So now I'm going to save. Okay, after the comment has been saved, I want to get the name of the commenter and the commenter's comments. Instead, I'm going to simply say return JSON response. I'm going to have a dictionary inside. So I'm going to put commenter as the name of the key, commenter, and the value is going to be equal to new comments. This new comment we have here dot new comments dot author. For my models.py, you can see here the it's called author because I would like to think of my form, the form I have on my views.py is being saved to the model, you understand, to the comments model. This form I have here is being saved. This comment form here is being saved to the comments model we have here. You can see from the forms.py, which is here, you can see now I assigned the model called comments to my comment form. I hope you understand. So now let's continue. So I want to get the comment, such as new comment.author, and the comment itself, which is, I'm going to simply say message msg new comment dot body. So that's all for now. So I'm going to head down to my templates, to my HTML file. So I'm going to open the templates, blog detail.html. Okay, so now we are in the blog detail.html. So let's head down to the form section. Okay, here is the form section we have here. This is the form section. I know we would have been expecting the normal HTML form, but here we are using Django forms. You understand? For my views.py, you can see where the form is. Understand? And this new, you can see where the form is here. And this new comment here refers to the form data that is being saved to the database. Understand? So now you can see now we have a Django form, not the normal input field or from HTML. But never mind, you could also get the HTML version just by going down to the browser, clicking, so let's get down to the form. Just by after you've done this now, you could simply right click on this form, inspect elements, simply inspect elements, and you get the HTML version of the form. You understand? You can see them, you can see the HTML version of the form over here. Okay, now what we need to do is that we need to create a script tag here. Script, we are going to be using Ajax with JavaScript to build this to prevent the page reload and enable us to also display the data. Okay, we are going to use using Ajax and JavaScript to save data to the data, to save our item to the database, and also display that item on the browser without the page reloading. So I'm going to say script. Okay, make sure the script is being closed. So now I'm going to select my form. So I'm going to select this form. You understand? And the form has an ID of comment form, right? So I'm going to simply say inside the script tag, and sorry for this, I'm going to simply cut this. This should be, the script tag should be just before. Okay, there is no problem. Okay, it could remain there. So now this script tag we have here, so saying I'm going to pick up the form. I'm going to simply say let's form equal to the main form itself. You understand? I'm going to pick it up, which is this. this form. I want to pick up this old form, so I'm going to pick it up to the ID comment form. I'm going to say let form equal to document dot get elements by ID comment form. Understand? So after I've done that, this should be let form and not left. Let form. Okay, after I've done that now, I'm going to add an event listener to this form. It submits event. Whenever the form is being submitted, a function, a JavaScript function is going to get executed. Understand? So I'm going to say form dot add event listener, add event listener submit. So the name of our function is going to be called stop reload. Understand? Okay, so now we're going to declare this function called stop reload. We're going to say function stop reload. Okay, this function is going to have this is an event listener function, and they always come with a default parameter. You could call this parameter anything you like. So I'll simply call my own e, or it could call yours event. So in this function, I'm going to simply say e dot prevent default. This prevents the page from reloading. This e.prevent default. So after we've done this, we still have some work to do. Understand? But permits me to do this for best practice. For best practice, we're going to make sure our JavaScript comes last, just before the body tag, just before the end of the body tag. Understand? So paste it over here. This is the best way. So now I said e.prevent default. So now we're going to use Ajax. Before Ajax can work on your computer, you must make sure you have jQuery. You must make sure you have jQuery on your projects. For example, if you go down to the base.html, I have a jQuery link at the bottom of the base.html file. This particular page is inheriting from the base.html. Understand? Before you can use Ajax, you must make sure you have either a jQuery CDN, or you have the link to the offline version of jQuery. Understand? So now I'm going to use Ajax $.ajax. Okay, parentheses and curly braces. So now I'm going to simply, for the first key is called type, which is equal to, okay, type of posts. So this is a post request. You understand? Post request has to do with you sending data to your database, you updating your database. You understand? This is a post request, and now the URL we are posting this to is the detail page of the blog. You understand? The detail page. So I'm gonna get the URL from my urls.py file. So I'm gonna get the URL. So I'm gonna use this blog detail. Okay, just copy this, Ctrl C. This is the detail view of my url.py file. So get down to the templates. So I'm gonna use Django dynamic URL, which is URL, and paste the one I copied. So I'm gonna put I'm gonna simply put, okay. So blog detail, this refers to the blog detail. For example, for each particular blog post. But this is not enough. I'm going to simply put posts.slug, which refers to this is the URL. For example, this is a dynamic name. So I'm going to also put in this slug. You understand? The post.slug. So after I've done that now, okay, must make sure this is inside. It's double quotes. Put it in a double quotes. So put this also in a double quotes for consistency. So now after I've done that now, I'm going to simply add another key called data. So now this is going to be equal to the form value, the form data, and the form data is a commenter's name and the commenter's comment. Understand? Okay, so I'm gonna simply say, you can see, if you could remember, the ID of the form is called comments form. Understand? So I'm gonna simply use the what is it called again? The hash symbol. comment form, which is the ID of our form. I will simply put .serialize. Just put that .serialize parentheses. So I'm going to say data type is JSON, or data type is the JSON data. Okay. Okay, let's not forget it should be also in a double quotes. So now after that, now we're going to have a success function where whenever our data is submitted to the back to the database, this function is going to run, understand? So I'm going to have a success function. So I'm going to simply say function. So it's going to have and add a parameter called anything. You could call your parameter anything, but I'm going to call my data. This data refers to the data I got from my JSON response, the commenter's name and the commenter's comment. Understand? That's what the data refers to in this function. So I could simply console.log data dot msg, the comment itself. Understand? I'm going to console.log the commenter's comments. Understand? So save your work and let's see if this works. So get down to your, okay, now we're going to head straight to our so I'm going to close this particular one that's not reload, this particular tab that does not reload whenever we had comments. Understand? This is a particular Django blog I built also that does not reload. So I'm going to close this up and work with the one we have here. So close this. Okay. Yes. Now, so now let's try adding. So now what we want to do is that I want to add a comment to this blog post now. So let's try doing that. Okay, so now I want to add some comments to the database. I've already cleared the previous comments on the database, so let's add some new comments to the database now. Okay, now so click on read more, so go down to the comment form. Okay, now let's add some new comments. I'm going to say Divine. I'm going to say thank you very much. Thank you very much. So submit. If you watch closely, there was no page reload. You understand? So click on submit again. It's going to add this comment twice to the database now. Submit, click on it again. No page reload. So go down to the admin panel. So refresh the page, refresh the admin. You can see now we have the comments. Thank you very much on the admin section twice. You can see now we've been able to add comments to the database. Understand? We've been able to add comments to our database. Now, so what we want to do is that I want to also want to display the comments on the browser. I want to also have the comments below, just also on the browser, just beneath this, just like the way we have here. If I could open, if I could say we open close tabs. So just the way we have on this particular blog post, whereby we are also able to have the comments, something like this. Let's see. Okay, let's see. If I just say John, just simply say thank you, submit. You can see we have the comments below without the page refreshing. So that was what we want to also achieve in this blog. Understand? So now the comments are saving to the database. Now we have the comments saved to the database, but now I want to display the comments on the browser. So now let's go do this right now. The page reloading, understand? So now get down to your to the blog, to the templates. So here we are in the template. So in the blog detail template, here we are now. So you can see here in this section where I wrote a Django code to display all the comments for a particular blog post. Understand? So now I want to pick some certain HTML item. So I want to pick this H5 we have here, and I also want to pick this. So I'm going to put this inside a p tag. So I'm going to put this inside a p tag. Okay, Control X and paste inside. Control V. Okay, so I want to pick this media body, this H5 and this P tag, understand? So now let's do that right now. So I'm going to give this media body, this class media body, an ID also of media body. So now we're going to do that on JavaScript. So let's do that right away. So I'm going to pick up the media body. So just above, just under the form. So I'm going to simply say let's comment holder. Let me just say let's comment container equal to documents dot get elements by ID media body. Understand? Okay, after I've done that right now, so I will simply get this h5 and the p tag. So I'm going to give this h5 an ID, gonna say ID, let's say commenter, let me just say commenter, and I'm going to give this p an ID of comments, the comment itself, understand? Okay, so now get down again. Okay, sorry, there is no need for assigning this ID to the p tag and the h5 tag. Sorry for that, there's no need for that. So what I want to simply do is that you can see from our JavaScript code, I said I added an event listener to the form. So whenever the form is submitted, the function stop reload is going to get executed. Whenever the form is submitted, the function gets executed. So inside of this function, I want to create this h5 tag. I want to create the h5 tag. So whenever the form is being submitted, the h5 tag is being created. Whenever the form is submitted, the h5 tag keeps on being created. Understand? So now I want to create this h5 tag inside of my stop reload function. So now I'm going to simply say let's commenter name equal to document dot create elements h5. So now I'm gonna create the one for the comments. I'm gonna say let's comment. I'll simply call this commenter, not commenter. Let's comment equal to documents dot create elements p. So now if I forget, I need to add this. You can see from the h5, it has a class of empty -0. So I need to add a class to the h5 tag. So I'm going to simply say commenter dot class list dot add. I'm going to simply say empty -0. Okay, so now I've done this now. So I'm going to step down to my success function as get executed whenever the item is being submitted to the database. This success function here. So I'm going to get down to it. So now I'm going to just remove this console.log, get it off the way. So I'm going to remove console.log. So now this is my commenter here. I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to say commenter dot inner text. That means the content of the commenter, the content of the h5 tag should be equal to the commenter's name. So I'm going to say data dot commenter, and the commenter is coming from my views.py. You can see here my views.py, which is here commenter. You can see, as I said previously, this data argument we have in the success function is basically this JSON response we have we got here. That was the data in the success function in the blog detail HTML template. So this data we have in this success function is basically the JSON response we got in the views.py. Understand? So now I'm simply saying the commenter.inner text should be equal to data.commenter, and the comments dot inner text should be equal to data.msg, data.message. You understand? So after I've done this now, I will simply append the commenter and the comments to my, what would I call it again, to my comments container. You understand? I'm going to append the commenter and the comment to the data comments container. I'm going to simply come down here and say comments container dot append child. These are JavaScript terminologies. Dot append child. I'm going to first of all put the commenter. So I'm going to copy this and change this to the second one to comments. So save your work. So now I think we are done now. So before you do anything else, go down to the, just move up a bit. You can see where we have this for comments in comments. So I'm going to simply remove this for comments and comments. Take it off. You don't need it again, and remove the end for. Take it off and save your work. So get down to your, to the page once more. So now let's try adding a new comment. Well, before I proceed, so let's try adding a new comment now. So let's change this to John, and let's put in a comment that says wow. So submit. Oh, it was not added. Okay, let's try adding again. So we should add, so submit. Oh, we're saying undefined, undefined. You understand? This is being saved to our database, but it's not yet displaying on the browser, on the web page. So I'm gonna solve that right now. Okay, so I found no errors. What I had to do was just to save my previous one, just to save my previous changes. Understand? I didn't save my views by earlier on. So now I've saved it now. So let's see if it works. So now click on the submit button and watch out if you find any form of refreshing on the page. Just watch out for any kind of reload. So submit. Wow, you can see our comments has been added. The commenter's name John and the comments wow has been added without the page reloading. Okay, but now we see have the commenter's name and the comments in the input field. You don't want that to be there. So simply get down to your, what's it called again? So just get down to the blog detail.html to get down to the JavaScript section. So our form is called what? What's the form called again? The form, okay, this is our form. So now I want to clear the form whenever we submit a new comment. Understand? So I want to clear the form. I want to clear the form data. I don't want it to be there. I want the form input fields to be empty. So I'm going to simply say form dot reset. I'm going to remove the input field after we've added a comment. So let's add a new comment. So let's simply say Mike, and they'll say thank you for this info, thank you for this great information. So now we're gonna submit these comments. Watch out for any form of page reload. So submit. Okay, submitted, but yet the, what was it called, the form field was not cleared. What should be causing that? Form.reset should do the trick. I don't know why the code is trying to act strange. Form.reset. Let's try again. Okay, it's cleared now. You can see the form field has been cleared. So let's try done. Let's say done and put in wow. So submit this. You can see we have done and wow. The page did not reload. So let's try. What are we gonna try more? Let's see. Mike. Let's say thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. So submit. No page reloading. The form data, the form is being submitted to the database. The comment is being submitted to the database, and we are having the comments on the web page without the page reloading. That was great. So in this video, I've been able to show you how to Ajaxify Django, whereby you're able to submit data and also display that data on the web page without the page reloading. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends that are also learning Django. You understand? So don't wait to smash the like button and drop me some comments. I would love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe. So we'll meet in the next video. Have a great day, stay blessed, and bye bye.